J roof rack. Already has some Mountain Dew up there. There you have it, car's together. Needs a motor still, but it's time to start wiring everything up with all of his Chinesium switches and see how that goes. Here we are, we got the full dash in the car. The car needs to be wired and plumbed still. Before we do that, we're going to take a moment and appreciate Wild J's Chinesium switches he likes. See how long they last. You know, in honor of the Chinese switches Wild J bought, we're going to restart this video. Well, that was annoying. Pull this guy back to give us access to everything. All right, we just pulled Miller's little 1600 out of storage. It's always been a good little motor for him, but so freshen this up. We gotta place some engine studs and then just drain the oil out of it. But we gotta replace push rods and push rod tubes on it because he dropped it at one point and bent them all up. The wild wiener! It appears that at some point he had mice in here. So I'm assuming there's mice in the shroud too. So we're gonna pull this whole thing apart and get it cleaned up. Mice. There was mice in here. Fantastic. So we just blew all the mice nest out of it. I don't see nothing, and we cleaned a bunch of dirt and junk that used to be on it. I didn't really want to pull these off because of the brass gaskets in there. I should have though, because it's Miller's car. Who cares? It looks all right. Looks pretty decent. We're going to put it back together. It ran before. It should run again. So here we are back to work on the Miller car. Wild J would be here today, but he went on a road trip with one of his buddies. I love you. We're going to put new push rods in it and replace some push rod tubes. I wonder what the torque spec on these is. These ones are actually all okay. It's got a shiny wear mark where it was rubbing. And that one's bent. Pull out the old tube. Install the new pushrod tube. While installing this, I had one of the brand new push rods that I can't get anything through. It says to check them. Make sure you're checking those push rods. That one, no oil would have passed through. Or we need to find an exhaust stud right here. Here we go. Thank you, Chris, for the box of old junk. I still haven't installed that floor in my car. There's one. Oh, here's a bag of two. Look at that. Thanks, Chris, for your box of old junk. Yeah. Here we go. Save the day. If you're ever in the mid-Michigan area and have an old box of VW junk you want to get rid of, we'll take it. We didn't film it. Forgot, got distracted. We got the motor in. We had a hard time getting it to mate up here. Evidently, the little pockets I made right here aren't quite right. So we had to throw the jack under the transaxle to get it to line up, and at one point I actually had to bust out the porta power. But she's in now. This bolt's hard enough to get to that you understand probably why Hitler was so angry all those years.
Das war ein Befehl! Der Angriff Steiners war ein Befehl! Jeder hat mich belogen, sogar die SS! Die gesamte Generalität ist nichts weiter als ein Haufen niederträchtiger, treuloser Feiglinge!
Mein Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verbringen...
Nicht als Feiglinge! Verreiter, Versager!
Prep for a ground wire. It's gonna run 2 ground wires because it's Wild J's car. Everything gonna be dual. Yeah, Miller's car is a little different than normal cars. He gets weird problems that normal humans don't get on their cars. That's why we always run 2 ground cables. Because it also protects them from problems like this. Hit it again.
Right there.
There is! Wait. Do that again.
What?
Crank it again.
Oh, that's not good.
Your car's about to light on fire for the 3rd time.
I've never seen anything like that before. What does that even mean?
I know, the corner of my head's like, light bulb.
I have never seen a wing nut become a light bulb.
What does that mean, though?
What kind of a wing nut would put that on their car?
This would be easier if you didn't buy such cheap Chinese switches. What a pain in the butt these things are. They don't work half the time. So when we're sitting out on the trail, broke down because your car doesn't work, because you got bad switches, that's why, right there. Or, that's why, right there. Just buy some decent switches for once. Our executive decision on this is we're not gonna run this guy because this is a super cheap switch. We are gonna save time in the trail. Rather than replacing his ignition switch, we're gonna place a sealed one in there so we don't gotta replace this guy later. So here's the switch out. Doesn't even mount that good. Yeah, we're gonna replace that guy. I think this switch came pre-broken. It was already... What a time saver! We don't even gotta change this out in the trail. It's already broken. We can change it right here while we got time. This is convenient. We're gonna end up relocating his shutoff switch. We're gonna move this guy up to the dash up here. What a piece of junk. Alright, wiring is really boring, so we're just going to cut to like an 18 montage of us hooking wires up. That'll be way more exciting to watch. Alright, Sunday morning before church. What better thing to do before church than make the trumpet sound? Let's wire the oogas. The oogas have to run a separate fuse and power source because they use so much juice. The quad oogas got to run 10 gauge wire. And ready. Quad oogas. Miller with a wrench in his hand.